her beaming smile. Hi, welcome, everyone. This is James from the Focus of Love. And I'd love to share. I got my bed up, okay? Because I'm feeling a little bit on fire today. And I'm just really, really excited to have you focus. Thank you for taking the time to join us. So before I kind of
You're
just give you the
welcome.
highlights of this young woman, I'm going to give you my first impression. So it hasn't been long since I officially met her, because I felt her vibration of love and energy in so many places that I've networked before. But I was at a broadcast of what show was it now?
The Q show. The
The
Q
Q
show.
show, okay, the
Yes.
Q
On
show.
Fox 29.
And I was in line, and I was there to support Tara Pritchard, who's going
Yes.
to be a guest coming up real soon.
Yes.
And so here comes this energy. Okay, she's got these. All right, she's got these shoes on. Okay, these high heel shoes on, and she is strutting. Okay, and she comes in with this energy and this power, and right away, okay, she was organizing us and making sure that we were taking, the right photos and making sure that everyone is informed about what it is that they needed to do in support, of Tara. And
Yes.
I was just struck immediately by her energy.
Oh,
Just
thank
struck
you. Thank you.
immediately by her energy.
Thank you so much.
And I was like, who is this lady? Who is this lady? And I think I said this to Tara, it was, I'm like, oh, she is all about the hype. Okay. She is all about bringing but that energy and throughout the whole day. And y'all know I'm hyped by myself. Okay. So you can just imagine
Yes,
the
you are.
energy the two of us shared that day.
Yes.
It was fabulous. It was a great occasion.
It
So
was.
this is what this powerhouse brings to the table. She
Thank you.
has some amazing accomplishments. She has received her certification as a transformational life coach, teacher, trainer, and speaker from the world renowned John C. Maxwell team. Now, you know the John C. Maxwell team is the number one producer of
Yes.
outstanding
Mm-hmm.
leaders and coaches worldwide.
Worldwide.
Okay, worldwide. Additionally, she's received her speaker certification by Speak Inspired to Speak,
Yes.
a program that is brought to us by the master storyteller himself, Les Brown, and master motivator, Mr. James Dentley.
Yes.
Okay, these are not your run of the mill
Right.
speakers or motivators or entrepreneurs. This is
Yes.
top of the line,
Yes.
proven
Mm-hmm.
leaders.
Yes, they
And she
are.
has been exposed to them, and we have the opportunity to learn from her. She
Mm-hmm.
has a dynamic curriculum, and what we've been sharing, she shared with me personally, helping me with my own personal, coming out,
Mm-hmm.
and understanding really how to take the umbrella of things that I love to do, the things that I am passionate about, and speaking to them in a way that really supports my goals and purpose. So I am glad to introduce you to, I'm happy to say, my friend and my coach, Focus James. Welcome.
Ah, hello, everyone.
Oh,
Hello. Thank you,
yes.
Tanya, for that amazing introduction. I appreciate you taking the time to read that, kind of giving a little bit of backstory. And I'm so happy to be here. Yes, you have blossomed just in our few sessions. And let me just say, I felt the same energy when I saw you. I was like, wow. First of all, I just loved your outfit, the clothes, but your beautiful smile and your face was just lit
Yeah.
up. And I truly believe in every area of your life, what you're seeking is also seeking you. Whether it's a man, a business partner, the type of job you want, it's seeking you. So you have to raise your energy so it pulls right into you. And that's what we did for one another. And we've been vibing ever since. So I appreciate being here.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
you're the kind of guest that I like to get out of the way for. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I just like to get out of the way because I want everyone to really have the maximum opportunity to learn from you. We talked about how did you want me to, come, and I just said, do you.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
first, tell us about what is the big question. What
Uh-huh.
is the focus of love?
The focus of love is victory, pure victory. What do I mean? At 18, I got married to a 21-year-old. We both were Christians. We both love God. But saints, hold on to your seats. Loving God ain't enough. You need a whole other level of skills called emotional intelligence, called refined communication, interpersonal skills to be married and have a love of your life type of relationship. So for those that are feeling depressed and having anxiety, saying we're Christians, why isn't this working? That's why. It's other skills besides being able to read your Bible, besides being able to go to church to have a successful marriage. Well, we didn't. We didn't have those tools, right? At 18 and 21. It said that your brain's not even fully developed until 25. So it's no real reason we should have been married other than the indoctrination of trying not to sin. But we created 100 more problems trying not to sin by having sex before marriage. So this definitely didn't work for us. And unfortunately, his way of dealing with it, he actually cheated with our nanny. So it was so devastating to me because not only was she our nanny, she doubled as the armor bearer of his mother, which was the pastor. We were the junior pastors. She was the pastor, and the nanny dubbed as the armor bearer. For those that don't know what that means, that's the person that takes care of the pastor, who prays for the pastor and stands by the pastor's side, making sure she's all good. So I was totally devastated in every way you can think when I found that out. So for 10 years, I walked around like a pit bull bleeding on anybody that would listen to that story because I was just so tore up. And so I woke up being hauled to the ER because I was just picked up from my corporate job floor. I actually passed out because my manager, for the third or fourth time, blew me off and wouldn't sit down and tell me why I'm one of the top salesmen, but didn't get a raise. So I woke up in the ER realizing, I looked ahead of me and I saw my 2-year-old trotting behind my 67-year-old mom at the time. And I was like, I can't do this to my mom. I can't do this to my mom. She is not fair to her that she would have to raise this 2-year-old. And then I heard a voice in the backdrop saying, Tanikia, that's my born name. And I looked over and I saw my sister-in-law with tears in her eyes. And I was like, I'm in trouble if she get ready to cry. And she said, what's wrong? What's wrong? I said, my heart is broken.
Mm.
And then the room just hushed. It was a hush in the room because about 20 people or so in the room, and people just started filing out slowly. It was just such a sad moment, right? They found nothing wrong with me other than my blood pressure went out, and that's why I passed out. But literally, I was dying from a broken heart, guys. It was so sad, and I vowed to myself. I said, I have to get over this. I got to heal this hurt. Now, I didn't know that was going to be a catchy slogan. I didn't know that was going to be my tagline, but now it's my tagline. You must heal the hurt or you just going to repeat the pain. See, even though I was out that relationship, already in another one, had another child, the pain was still there. And I just was reproducing it in another way in my life via my job, where now I felt betrayed. I felt belittled and just disheveled and not even honored for what I was bringing. Yet in another relationship called the work relationship. See, I want to let y'all know you may move jobs, you may divorce that person, but you take you wherever you go. So you can't get
Yes,
away from yourself. You can't get away from yourself. See, I still took my hurt and pain to that corporate job, and I recreated the tumultuous, toxic relationship with that job. See, some people was getting raises, some people were getting promotions, but why not me? Is the question I kept asking myself, and I victimized myself, right? And through the healing process, the next 10 years of that healing process is how the focus of love was created, because you can only heal but so much, and then it's time to give it away, right? And that's how I came up with the name The Focus of Love, because I truly believe what you focus on will absolutely expand, Tanya.
absolutely does. It
Yes.
absolutely does. And I love the way that you put that,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't pay attention
Mm-hmm.
to all of the long-term impact
Yes.
of not dealing with those things we just tuck away.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like it will come up somewhere else. If we don't deal with it, it's just going to pop up with our children. Then before we know it, we don't have good relationship with our children. I just spoke to 3 women just this week alone saying, I'm not going to get in a relationship. I'm going to focus on my children. I'm like, please get that sunbeam off those kids. You're going to burn them up. We need to deal with this. We don't need to hide in motherhood and not give our children the privilege of seeing us in love, not giving the children a privilege of seeing the dance with the opposite gender. That's that thing. But also, if you're still not healed, you're just going to smack them around inside of your pain. So let's not use them as an excuse because you don't want to deal with the hurt and the pain and the toxicity of the she said, I every time I get in a relationship, it's a toxic relationship, so I'm just not going to deal with it. I'm gonna wait till my child go to college. I said that will be devastating for you and him, because he's going to wonder why nobody loving my mom. What's wrong with my mom? Right? And you didn't give him the service of being able to see what a healthy relationship is. So even if he's gone, about time you are healthy, he will see his mom become healthy and transform. And that happened 3 times this week, just now. So, ladies, I really want to urge you, don't blame the kids. They want to see you in love. Matter of fact, they want to see you to go out on a date. Matter of fact, they ready for you to go ahead and get out of their face and stop hovering over them, that helicopter mom. They don't want to be in one more play. They don't want to be in one more soccer team so you cannot deal with your life and just got to keep dropping them off. So let's slow down and speed up and create a balanced life for them so they can see what healthy relationships really look like, not you just utilizing them to exit out of your life. Humbly said, my ladies.
That you are on it. You are on it, and that is why um, people need to know what to do.
Yes.
Okay, how do you recognize or accept
Mm-hmm,
where
mm-hmm.
you are? Because
Yeah.
many of us, and I'll just speak about myself, I had recognized that,
Yes.
at certain points in my life,
Okay.
but wouldn't accept that and really didn't know what to do next.
Exactly, exactly. Well, that's a great question. See, our girl, Oprah Winfrey, right now, the last time I checked, I'm not gonna say right now, but the last time I checked, Oprah had 4 life coaches. That's called a clue. When a billionaire, one of the most famous people in the world, have 4 anything, it's like, can I get half? Can I get a fraction of that? Right? That's called a clue. She said, right? Can I get a scratch and sniff of that? Right? You want some of that. So successful people do what unsuccessful people aren't willing to do. And what do I mean? There's a constant growth that you know you need to have, period. Right? So you can't hide from yourself when you have enough people around you holding you accountable for your life. So you want to set yourself up to win. So if you don't know, it might be more on the lines of possibly not wanting to know, because it's a law called the 5 sum total. We are the 5 sum total of the people that we are around. So if you look at your text, your email, your phone calls, who you associate with most on social media, whatever other communication, you're right around their same intellectual being, finances, spiritual, mental health, right? So, one, if you're the smartest person in the room, you got to get out that room. You got to figure out where are the people around me that are growing and why. I'm still answering your question because they will let you know. Because when you see them moving, you'll realize, oh, I'm stopped, I'm blocked there. When you see those healthy relationships and the husband and wife loving each other, you'll have to look at yourself and hopefully in a healthy way and go, wow, I want that. How do I need to who do I need? Here's the big question. If you don't remember anything else when I get, but besides this conversation, who do I need to become to have a juicy, scrumptious life? And this is a question we can continue to ask ourselves. Who do I need to become to just elevate my life a little more? Not only for myself, but for my children. Hence healing, ladies, and hence having healthy relationships around our children and having healthy finances where we're not always broke, busted, and disgusted. And I know some ladies on here, you are bomb diggity successful, right? But we all have areas, not but, and we all have areas that we need to grow in. Ask your friends. They probably already telling you. It's just a matter of, are you ready and willing to listen? Because when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And hello, everyone. I'm your teacher, Coach Focus.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Thank you.
So, okay. So, how do you,
Mm-hmm.
and I love to share from my own personal, okay,
Sure.
experience.
Yes, me too.
Um, we get up. I mean, lately, I mean, this is this downtime that we have, this opportunity to grow where we're planted is
Mm-hmm.
unusual because we are forced to be with ourselves.
Yes.
We're forced to be with ourselves, and
Yes.
kind of in everyday life that's not usually the case.
Correct. I agree.
So I remember getting up and doing the everyday and just pushing down those things that I felt were getting in the way
Yes.
when in fact I wasn't skilled enough
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to deal with them.
Yes.
How do we begin to look at ourselves and say, maybe I need a little assistance?
Yeah, yeah, I love that question. And you're right, because it's important for me when I close out my sessions with my clients to take some deep breaths, to bring it on in, because you're wide open after a session with myself, a life coach, a therapist. So it's important to be able to know how to bring it in because you do have to deal with life after that, right? So it's important to know how to do that. And why did I start off with that? Because I find a lot of people are afraid that if they start crying, they won't be able to stop. A lot of people are afraid
Mm,
if I start talking, it's going to pull up a whole lot of stuff that I don't know how to deal with. I don't want to deal with. Then I got to confront people. So I want to assure you, if you're in front of an expert, they will give you that skill. They will help you build that muscle to know how to deal with what you need to deal with. Wrap that wound up while it's still bleeding because you got to come back for your follow up visit, right?
yes.
And still be able to deal with life. Absolutely, right? That's part of what an expert is. See, our girlfriends, you get off the phone madder at your man after you talked.
Say it
Hello.
again.
Hello. If you get madder at, listen, when your dude leave and come back more pissed off, that ain't the right friends he should be around. Now, I know I'm not talking proper English, so pardon me, but I really want you to get that point.
Bring it.
If
Bring
he
it.
leaves and come back madder, that's not the right friends for him. And for yourself, if you get off the phone and you're more angry at your man, that's not the right person. So we have to seek out, just like jobs. We sit there and we write the pros and cons, how far is it is from the kids' school, are we gonna get back on time? Is it worth it with the tolls we gotta pay? I mean, we do some real analyzing when it comes to a job or after school program for our children. We need to take that same look and that microscopic look at our life. Who do I need to become to have this juicy life? And
Mm,
allow the universe to answer. It'll pop up and say, you still didn't forgive your dad. It allows you to do that. And just like anything else, we resourceful. We hop on Google and YouTube and find whatever we want to find. Look for it because what you're seeking is seeking you. I truly believe that. So even if you don't have the skill set of what to do about it, you absolutely, I'm sure if you're listening and you're on this in this group, you a sharp lady and you absolutely, or gentlemen, if you're popping and listening to the replay, you have the resources to find it. Just get in the know that it's necessary to grow to get to the next level. And when I say next level, I'm not talking about a bigger house, bigger car, because we know all of us know some story or some tragedy of somebody that had some level of success and took their life. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the evolution of our soul being the most authentic us possible. That's victory. That's wealth. That's success. Because that's not determined by outside sources and variables about how big the car is. Did we last 50 years for the rest of our life? Did all of my children go to college? Those are outside sources, but deep joy comes within when you are connected,
Mhm.
when your soul is not infringed from the pain and trauma, and you live in one life, but you know your purpose is something else, or you don't even know your purpose, which is even more dangerous because
Yes.
you're just existing, as our girl O said. If you don't know your purpose, you just existed. And that we got to get about the business of knowing your purpose. And that's what I offer. And as you guys see, the crawl going across, that's why I offer people that free 30-minute session to get in and know. And that's my first question. Because I can teach you business. That's when I've been a marketer, like for what am I, 47? Since I was like 18, I always had some kind of business. So I can teach you marketing. I can teach you self-promotion. I've been a public speaker probably since I was 5. You know how, they put you up there on the Easter day to speak. So I can
Uh,
teach you public speaking. I can teach you love. But what I can teach you the evolution of discovering your purpose that comes from within. And that's far more powerful than all those other stuff. So I'm going to start off by giving you more stuff. We generally got to peel back this stuff so you can actually hear your inner soul, so you can realize, what am I here for and who am I here to serve? That's the ultimate question we want to live through and live our life by.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. This is so needed. That's why I was so excited to have you on, because
Thank
these are
you.
the kinds of questions that we dwell on. It takes time
Yes,
to
it does.
peel back. It takes time to
Yes,
take
it
that
does.
scab off. Okay, it takes time to take that scab off and put on
Mm-hmm.
the right
Yeah.
healing
The hearing balm.
potion
Yes. Yes. I agree.
in order to get it right.
Yes.
So I wanted to kind of talk about the other side of this. This has just come to me.
Okay.
So for and what brought it to mind was one of the ladies you talked about, you had spoken to, where you just want to give up.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
just want to give up.
Yes.
And you don't feel like you deserve, or you're too embarrassed,
Yes.
okay, to talk about, gosh, I have made these mistakes and gotten myself in this situation, and
Yeah.
I really can't even tell my friends
Hmm.
how bad it is.
Sure.
What can you offer someone like that? They're
Yeah.
they're they're sitting back right now listening, or they'll see
Yes.
this on the replay, but
Yes.
they're not going to say anything or do anything. What can you offer them to encourage them?
Yes, I appreciate that question because I see Sarita. Guys, we technically can't see your comments. So that's the only reason why we're not giving you shout outs in this mode of recording. But I have you also all on my laptop. And I peeked over and I see Sarita said, fear is so real. So that's what you just described, Tanya. Fear is so real. Shout out to you, Sarita. And yes, it is. If I'm saying your name, thanks for your patience. It is real. It's real in a sense that it can captivate our mind. I'm actually doing a show this Wednesday. Shout out to Dre Warrior. He's the up and coming author. He's a Christian man, and we're going to be talking about the different perspectives of relationship coming from love or fear. So I love that you asked that question because we're only functioning now. We describe our emotions in many different ways, but they all stem from only two actual emotions, which is either love or fear. So if you can't speak to a friend, that's coming from what? Love or fear, ladies? That's
Mm,
coming from fear.
yeah.
You're not allowed to be yourself, right? Or even expose yourself to yourself. Because you're like, oh, how am I going to deal with that when I recognize and realize I'm still in pain? I'm still hurting. I want to commit suicide, or I'm cutting myself, right? Or I'm using sex as some form of trying to fill
Mm,
this deep void of not being enough, right? So, or I'm eating one more bag of popcorn and I know I should put that down, but it's filling that void because I'm so lonely, right? My mother said I was never good enough, right? Whatever your angst is, right? And listen, I'm gonna shock you, Christian ladies. I'm gonna shock you, Christian ladies. Don't close out yet. Let me finish the statement.
bring it.
Some people are addicted to church. Some people are addicted to church. Kids, bratty, husband ain't home, house trifling. But you getting those 3 services. Giving tithes, skipping bills, not healthy. Not healthy,
Yes.
ladies. We got to recognize the purpose of church is to get filled up of your purpose and connected to God and bring others. When's the last time you brought somebody to church? See, it's not just enough for you to get there. The whole point of it is to evangelize and duplicate yourself. Now, this is why am I saying this? And I recognize it's confronting. I recognize it is, but it's confronting in a good way. A good coach will stretch you. If you ever played any sports, you can do 20 jumping jacks, and your coach will ask for what, ladies? 5 more. They'll go, you got 5 more in you, let's go. A good coach will have you do 5 suicides and go, 1 more, everybody, because the coach knows that you can do better, further, stretch yourself, right? A good coach is not whatever you turn in. Generally, in my assignments, if I ask you to turn in something, whatever it is, I'm going to ask you to do it again in some other way and elevate it, because you're going to think it's your best, but I guarantee you, you can do better. And that's what a good coach does, right? So if you're functioning in fear, you're functioning in fear because there's only one way or the other. You beget the opposite. So if I can't talk to my friends, then I either need to get new friends or realize I'm just simply functioning in fear. It got to be somebody you're able to talk to. Now, the other question, that kind of nice, nasty might be, I want to keep looking good, is the real situation. So for me to actually tell them I'm hurting, I'm in pain, somehow I'm going to be looked at differently, not as fly, not as successful. So I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
keep it to myself. But let me tell you the underlying secret. We already know. Just so you know, we already know. Why? Because we all are spiritual beings first. So we all, first of all, know we all flawed in some way, but we also feel that uneasiness that you have around men or in your business or with your children. We already feel it. So the likelihood, if they're friends, we already know it. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. That's that deep heartbreak. This is what just came to mind.
Mm-hmm.
There are deep, profound, it's beyond deep,
Yes.
profound heartbreak
Yes.
um, that prevents us,
Mm-hmm.
that confuses us, distracts us from getting to our healing.
Yes.
And so, how can we get beyond that? How can we take those baby steps
Yes.
to move forward?
Yes, I have to tell you, I was in denial. Well, not even as much as I personally was in denial. Well, yeah, I would say so. For a minute, I wouldn't let my job know that me and my husband was separated at the time. I still wanted to fake like I was the first lady. So back to what you were saying, I wanted to look good. See, I was the first lady of a church. How I'm gonna go back to the job? I was a preschool teacher, and what one of the most nicest, if you will, preschools at the time. We considered ourselves like the international nation preschooler because people came from all over the world to work at the job we were associated to. So it was doctors, researchers, scientists, right? So I had this elite position, if you will. So I wasn't a regular preschool teacher at a regular school, and I'm a first lady. So I had this the representation of who I thought I was, and I wanted to kind of keep. So I didn't want it to be known, but they already knew. So I was faking, right? Like we still
Mm,
together, and they was waiting for me to tell them because they saw it hurt me so bad, right? Which is just crazy. So I suffered in pain for months, not wanting to tell them, and then I finally said it, and a couple of them was like, "We knew. We just was waiting for you to feel comfortable enough to tell us." And I was like, "Ah, I could have had so much more support. I could have had more support sooner, right?" And then I'm living this lie because I didn't want to deal with the pain of it all. And they're looking at me right in the face. And then I got some love, right? And then I got some support when I went to work. And I got some, they were able to lift me up and give me some, some new points of view of how to deal with it instead of just the old good old fasting and praying. Now I'm not dismissing that, ladies, not at all. But there's also some practical legalities that had to still take place inside of that process. And I could have had
mhm.
that support sooner. Am I answering your question or did I miss that? Bring it back
Oh
around to
yeah, the
you.
hearts are flying, girl. You see, the hearts are flying. They are flying. These are things, these are the topics I love. the things
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
don't talk
Yeah.
about, the things that we don't talk about. So, in not doing that, what are
Mhm.
some of the impacts of not doing the healing? You touched on it briefly before,
Yes.
but how do the impacts manifest themselves?
Yeah, great question. So it will manifest in just about every area of your life. I was very combative towards people of authority, right? Because
Ooh.
I didn't trust them. After I felt that I was betrayed by my pastor, which was my mother in law, given that she knew what was going on, right? Given I was betrayed by my husband, who was supposed to be my protector, my covering, right? My pastor. Given I was betrayed by my nanny, someone I gave, okay to help raise my child, come in and out my house, cook our food. So you can imagine the depth of betrayal. Like, who could I trust? Right at that point. So at my job, I would make good money and hit my numbers, but I was very combative in the meetings. People knew, oh, here come Focus, right? So it would come up where I probably could have gotten more promotions and moved forward in my corporate job. But ain't nobody trying to sit down with somebody like that, right? And you won't see it. I know I didn't see it until a very new, nice supervisor that I actually liked got hired, and I admired him and his wife and children. And I was like, wow, I really like this guy. The first meeting that we had as a team, he said, wow, you are combative. And my sarcastic response was, that's your opinion. Well, that's second that motion, right? Everybody is second that motion. But it was so confronting to me when he said that. And I walked out of that meeting and I was so sad because I was like, no, no, not him too. As if he did something wrong, right? Because I'm still playing out the victim because that's the only story I know at this point because I haven't reframed my mind. And then I had to think about it. I was like, wait a minute, he knew me a hot minute. He don't even know my history. So it was bubbling up then, like, wait a minute, I got to take some responsibility here. How this man just met me, and I think because he knew I liked him, meaning that he was just a real good people, that he felt comfortable enough to say, wow, you're really combative. And that's also, which was
Mm.
a blessing because it gave me a breakthrough to actually hear him because I couldn't really prejudge him from my history because we just met. It was only a couple of weeks. So it gave me that breakthrough to have to really look and take some responsibility, right? So ultimately, that's what it's going to have to be. Where we got to look at our life. If things are not working, if his name keep changing, but the ending is the same script, different cast, it's called a clue. It's you. If you are the denominator at every job and every relationship, it's called a clue. It's you. I was talking to this gentleman. He said the last 7 women I've dated or was married cheated. I said the last 7, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7 in a row. He was like, yeah. I said, oh, dog. What do you think is the factor? And he said this, and he said gold diggers and that. I said some of that might be true, but the one factor we know is absolute is you. You were in every relationship, so you got to look at where that stemmed from. And the next 20 minutes, everything was I about his money. He wasn't even really willing to have that conversation. He changed the subject by saying, "Oh, I'm just walking outside. I don't know which car I want to drive." And you gold diggers, really? We just having this awesome moment of revelation, and he changed right to his stuff, if you will, right? So back to the point, we take ourselves wherever we are. So if you want to consider, hey, I don't know, I promise you, that's part of one of the forests that you use to pretend that you're confused, not to actually deal with what you need to deal with. And that's
Yes.
one of the things I help people confront. Confusion is a deflection. And then I asked her, I don't have that shirt on today, but the other shirt I have made is, if you did know what to do, what would you do? Because people will go, I don't know what to do. And my rebuttal to that is, if you did know what to do, what would you do? And normally right there, they got an answer.
Mm. Yes, it's taking the ownership. You
Mm-hmm.
said the word deflection.
Yes.
That is huge.
Yes.
You look in the mirror
Yes.
and you deflect. I look in the mirror.
Yes. All of us. Yes, ma'am.
and I deflect, okay, about, I'm like, oh, it's getting a little chubby around
Yes.
here, Tanya. And it's like, but this lipstick is pretty. You
Yes.
know, it is, and we do it to ourselves,
Yes.
and that's the biggest hurdle. And when you and I spoke this week, we talked about, it's somebody else, but and this is an old adage, look
Yeah.
at where the finger's pointing. That finger you're pointing at somebody else is pointing back at you.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know,
Because honestly, that's all. That's the only person we have that we can transform and have a breakthrough for. Shout out to you, Adrian. Thank you for always being by my side. We all need a breakthrough. We all need a break. I'm not exempt from it. I recognize that I need growth as well. So I have a financial planner and I have a financial workout partner. I have a artist developer, right? I have a life coach. Shout out to Tara Pritchett. I can boo love with him, but I don't got a ring on my finger yet. I said, wait a minute, there might be some block right here. Let me get somebody to see something that I don't see, right? I said, I still don't have a ring either. Let me see, right? So I know how to begat love and boo loving, but what's the next step? And listen, everything is not always something wrong. It's also timing. So I don't want to make it people feel like that, oh, I'm just jacked up. No, it's also timing. The evolution of our soul needs to also be there as well. And see, I've been celibate now for 15 months. I think it's going on 16 in a couple days. And I don't know that I would have been just stable minded as much as I am
mm,
now, given this pandemic, had I been already connected to a soul or having sex with several men. So I believe that God allowed me, and follow me, ladies, for those who don't believe in God, that the universe allowed me to sustain, to continue to help me to be singular and one with myself, right? So when this pandemic unfolded, that I could serve more people, right? Because if I was moved up, y'all, my time, my schedule would be a little thinner. My schedule would be a little thinner, because I got to tend to the man, right? But it's wide open besides when I take care of my daughter, right? And giving her dinner and making sure she has her meals and doing her homework. But I wouldn't be as readily available for the 4 or 5 states in California, Dallas, and getting up all times of night trying to manage people time that's in a different time zone. I can imagine my boo saying, honey, right?
where
Pulling
you
my,
at?
where you at? Pulling my coattail. Now, God may bless me with a man that's just like, do your thing, do your thing. I don't know. But what I do know, in my singleness right now, I'm more readily available to do my purpose, and I'm willing to manage that when he does give me a gentleman. So I also want us to be gracious to one another, given knowing that there's timing. Timing is also everything. So in your timing, you just want to continue to get prepared. So I offered a young lady, I said, listen, I want you to jump on because I'm doing a question and answer. Well, we talked about it last week about celibacy. So she said, well, I'm not even in a relationship right now because I told her, let's talk about femininity. She said, well, I don't need to worry about that. I'm not in a relationship right now. I said, honey, that's when you learn to be feminine. You don't try it out on him because he's going to go the other way if you still figuring it out, right? It's some skills you already want to master beforehand. So, ladies, if you're not in a relationship right now, you want to learn about who do I need to become to generate a man to come to me and not only get him, but keep him, right? It's a volunteer army. So they get to choose just like we get to choose, as well.
Absolutely wonderful. The key point that I've walked away from with is that the focus of love is you. Okay, it's who
Mm,
you are to
yes.
yourself. And when you
Mm,
do that, and when you fill yourself, and when you surround yourself, you change the people that are
yes.
impacting you in a way that's not getting you to where you want to go. When the
Yes.
focus of love is you, then you can
Yes.
give that love in a business relationship, in a personal,
Yes.
intimate relationship, to your
Yes.
family, but you've got to give it to you first.
You first. You first.
You
And
first.
we've been taught a lot not to. To
Hmm.
love on our man, to love on our children first, to love God comes first. I know I'm stepping on a lot of toes here, but
Talk
listen,
about it.
you are God first, meaning that God lives in you. He's created you. So self care is so important. If you barely taking care of yourself, you are all kinds of cranky, angry, mad at God, no doubt. So we still need to have our proper rest, our proper food, and take the time to nourish our soul, right? So all of the running the church on every choir and usher board and you volunteering here, when is the self-care so that you can even hear God, right? So that's part of our
Mm,
responsibility as well, right? Where's the deep intimacy with God if you're constant going and going, right? So we want to have that self care because I love what Yvonne Zanzant said. And I'm saying her name incorrectly, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Which is you got to give from your overflow. You have to fill yourself up first, right? And then your overflow you can give to people. Because if you're giving from the reservoir, right, you making dinner, but you all dried up inside. The peanut butter and jelly is just as sloppy. You smacking it on. You used to cut the crust off. It's like, listen, be happy you got a sandwich, right? So the love of it is gone because you haven't filled yourself up. So nobody want to come sit down and have dinner with you. They know you cranky. You know you slamming stuff down. You're in the motion of motherhood. You're in the motion of being a wife. You're in the motion of a business partner. But when you come up off that elevator, they all like, oh, she here, everybody, she here, everybody, sit down, right? So you want to make sure you're filled up with love. You want to honor who God has created you to be, right?
yes,
So when you walk in a room, the presence of God is there because you are,
that's
because
it.
you are. Yes,
You are
yes,
human and you are divine. You are
yes,
human and you are divine.
yes.
Susan Taylor, the former uh, editor of Essence magazine, okay, she would say that every issue when she did, her editorial. You are human and you are divine.
Yes.
It is up to us to make that
Yes.
connection. And when we begin, and I'm going to say that when we make that initial connection with ourselves, okay, and with our God or the universe or however it is that you view that power, okay,
Yes.
um, that's when you can begin to see yourself, all right,
Yes.
and begin to elevate. We want so much to care for the people that we love. We want so much to give them, all right.
Yes.
But unless we give to ourselves first, we're
Yes.
not really giving them the best. Okay, we're not giving them the best.
Correct.
So, the focus of love
Yes.
absolutely has to be us.
Yes.
This is just, it's just, I love this. And I can look back in my own life. I am twice divorced,
Okay.
twice divorced. And if you want to be technical, probably divorced more than that. Okay.
Then that's a whole lot of us in that case.
Okay. We're going to talk about it, okay? Because
Right.
that's what we do here. Um, and I'm grateful that very early on, as I kind of, recovered recovered from the transitions, that I understood or began to understand that the common denominator was me.
Yes.
And regardless of what the contribution or impact of the other person was, ultimately, it
Mm-hmm.
was me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
if I, decided that it was or wasn't going to, work, that was my decision. Their actions may have triggered a response,
Yeah.
but before, when I would pull the trigger,
Yeah.
okay, as I would call it, and I would tell people, unless you're ready to pull the trigger, you need to think long and hard, because at the end of that, then you have to come back to dealing with you. So
Yes. Yes.
I don't express fault, and there've been some very hurtful things, that
Sure.
I have experienced and that we have experienced. But in order to move forward, I needed to grow from that.
Yes.
I need to be the focus of love.
Yes.
And that's what I'm urging everyone to do.
Yes. Yes.
Be the focus of love for yourself,
Yes. Yes.
and when you do that, you're able to give more. All
Yes.
right. And in giving more, the right more, you
Mhm.
receive more,
That's right.
and I've just walk in that. And as we spoke earlier this week, and you were asking
Mhm.
me, well, what's your purpose statement, Tanya? I'm like, oh Lord. But I am walking in my purpose now.
That's right. In this very moment.
I am walking
It,
in my purpose now because by using my voice,
mhm. Mhm.
I am able to bring to others,
Mhm.
okay? Because we can only put it out there, okay? Now,
Yes.
I also know
Yes.
that I know that I know that I know that a life is changed as a result of our conversation focus,
Absolutely.
okay?
Absolutely.
But I am a change agent, okay?
Yes.
And today I'm a change agent for love,
Yes. Come
okay?
on.
I'm a change agent for love. And
Yeah.
unless we get to the love inside
Yeah.
of us, because that's what we've been given, that's
Yeah.
what we have been given, that
Yeah.
agape love, that universal
Mhm.
love, okay?
Yes.
That love that pushes energy through us. And when energy comes, it changes things.
Yes.
And that's what we're here for. That
Yes.
is what we're here for. I
Yes.
had that planned at all. Focus,
Yes.
focus, focus. So tell
Yes.
us again
Mhm.
how it is that we can get in touch
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
you. You have an
Yes.
amazing offer here. And I'm going to
Yes.
tell you, folks, you want to get in touch with this young woman.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I went to get certified as a public speaker, and I got to sit with Les Brown and D. James Dentley. I think it was 4 days and 10-hour days. I was there on the edge of my seat, staying late, getting there early, and I was so blessed to be able to be there. And really quickly, my brother headed taking care of the last 90 days of my mom, and I was there to support him. So I had no more time left to work. So I literally used the 3 bereavement days to go to this event, to go to that event. Actually, I called James and was like, James, I don't have any more time left, and my mom is about to pass. He said, get here, focus. See, this is the kind of push you got to get. This gentleman makes some incredible money. He goes around the world. So you listen, plenty of people have died in his transition and all of the events that he was in. So he was with confidence able to say, you need to get here. Because see, deaths don't stop anything, guys. Somebody's still hurting because somebody died. Go to my page called Grieving with Purpose and Focus and meet me there. We can talk about that. So I lost my mom, and in those 3 bereavement days, I was sitting on the edge of my seat and I said, this got to matter. I'm supposed to be home grieving my mom, but I'm sitting here getting certified as a public speaker. So I was on the edge of my seat each time. Like this got to matter. So I took this thing in so much. A couple of the people that were sitting next to me, they said, "Focus is like this is you and Les Brown class, right?" That's how he was teasing me because several times he kept talking directly to me.
Yes.
And in the course of the teaching, he said, Focus, you need to let people take you home. You need to write a book. So, needless to say, I wrote this book in 90 days with Mike Matthews by my side and Renita Gibbs by my side. They both was in the same course, and they ran with me the 90 days. 5 some total. I'm still talking to you all. 5 some total people around you will make you have the difference. And they both had already published books. So I didn't ask people who hadn't published books. Now, I had 2 friends, shout out to Adrian Bay, who helped me go ahead and proofread it, and shout out to Cheryl Spencer, who helped me to proofread it. But that, again, 5 people, right? So that was 4. And then my girl, Arshelle, shout out to her, just telling her, listen, this is what I'm doing, because she knew me, and this is what I'm trying to translate. So in 90 days, I wrote this book. This book was in the making for like a decade and a half. But when a millionaire tell you need to do something, that's called the clue. It's time. When Les Brown said you need to write a book, people need to take you home. They need to hear your story. I had to get that thing down, right? So this is about 2 decades. Is 10 of my either consultings or trainings or coaching. And what is it? The purpose of this is only 67 pages. And why is it? Because I just want to move the furniture just enough for you to recognize the need for a life coach, right? So I don't want to
Yeah.
traumatize you. I don't want to overload you, but I want to give you enough to go, aha. Remember that guys them coming to America? Aha.
Uh-huh.
Aha. I want to give you enough to go, aha. And yes, I love humor. So if you ain't ready to laugh, I'm not your coach. Because I think that is laughter makes the heart grow fonder. So we got enough trauma. So I'm gonna make you laugh inside of that, so you can recognize, you know what, we can out traumatize each other all day. And then it's called so what?
Mm.
Who do you need to become to be your most authentic soul? What did that trauma, why was that trauma there? What was the purpose of it to teach you so that you can teach others, so you can come in your most authentic self? And that's why I also give you a 30-minute coaching, personal one-to-one, which that's probably going to be the end of that offer by the end of this year, because I have a second book coming out, which I'm going to do the same thing. But then I'm going to have to start talking to the masses. I'm not going to be able to do one-on-one like I'm doing now, because first of all, I ain't sleeping, and that's against my whole self-care part, right? So I got to take care of myself. But I am extending myself because we're in a pandemic. So I really get it, and God has been restoring me. So if I slurred any of my words, just know it's because I love y'all and I'm not sleeping that much, right? But I am still offering this 30 minutes for a $7 ebook, guys. That's a steal that you get to spend time
Yeah.
with me, and I give you my all in that 30 minutes. And many of you are very grateful because you know I go over sometimes, because I see, some people come in, they tore up, Tanya. I can't let them go in 30 minutes. They crying, and so I got to keep going and push things over. So it's a lot of labor, and it's a labor of love for $7. So invest in yourself. Pay the $7. You're going to cash at me, Focus James. You're going to include in the note your email. I'm getting it right over to you, and we're going to set up. You give me 2 good times and days. I'm going to make it work for you, and we're going to be able to do just this on Zoom. And we're going to dig deep, right? So we can get that fire underneath you and use this time positively, right? Positively. And yes, some things are happening, but this is the time to build your muscle. Don't go hide in no corner. Get out that corner, girl, and somebody share that. You know that person that keeps calling you saying how lonely and depressed they are. Share it twice on their text phone and their message, and make sure that they get this message, because it's time to live. The universe is screaming out, live.
Yes, it
Live. And if
is.
you're not growing, you're absolutely dying. I see you guys on Zoom for your 30 minutes session. Back to you, Tanya.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Focus. Hello. This has been absolutely amazing. Stay right there, Focus. All right, folks.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
see in the trailer the offer. I went ahead and look. I added another 30 minutes to mine. The book is it's a beautiful guide.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful guide. It's just enough. But
Yes.
remember, you have to do the work. You need to invest in yourself
Yes.
if you want to be the best that
Yes.
you can be.
Yes.
This is just, and I'm telling you, this is a busy young woman, okay? Busy young woman. That's why when I finish my sessions with her, I'm like, yeah, here's the next one. And Cash App is
Yes,
on
you
the way
do.
now.
Yes, you do, Tanya. I know not to play with Tanya
Okay,
time.
no.
Yes.
I know what to do, and I've
Yeah.
seen the results. Okay, I got up early this morning, put on my red dress, honey. Okay, because I am the focus of my love up in here. Okay, woo! Y'all are not ready for what's coming.
Come
Y'all are
on.
not ready for what is coming, hermano.
I
Si hermana, Dios mío, lo que va a pasar.
love
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great
it.
morning. It is just a little bit after 11 a.m.
Yes.
Thank you, Focus.
You're
I just
welcome.
want
You're
to
welcome,
remind
everyone.
everyone that tomorrow at 8 p.m. on Talks with Tanya right here, okay? Same time, same place, 8 p.m. Tomorrow, we are going to be talking about another subject that's really dear to my heart. This is April is child sexual abuse month,
Mm.
okay, child abuse in general month. And I'm
Okay.
bringing an amazing, another advocate, Sharia Shoat. She is an educator. She is down and dirty, okay, in the most positive way, in highlighting what you need to do about preventing and dealing with the trauma after child abuse. So you
Mm.
want to make sure that you come here tomorrow,
Yes.
8 p.m. And I'm going to say this, focus.
Yes,
Some
ma'am.
of the um, trauma or the dysfunction or the
Hmm.
distraction that we
Hmm.
have in our lives stems from way
Yes,
back.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
I know you hear that
Yes,
in
ma'am.
your practice.
Oh,
Okay.
yes,
I
yes.
know you hear
Hmm.
that in your practice. So you
Absolutely.
don't want to miss that.
Hmm.
Talks with Tanya is going to be coming to you on Saturday. And it's at 10 today, but it needs to be at 11 because I made a horrible mistake where I have another important call, the well call, Women Exchanging Life Lessons, comes at 10 a.m. And I made a mistake and scheduled this for 10. So we'll be coming to you at 11 a.m. every Saturday and 8 p.m. every Sunday. Consistency. So thank you everyone for joining us. Remember, stay home. All right.
Yes.
Stay focused and stay
Yeah.
inspired. Y'all be blessed. Thank you,
Awesome. Bye,
Focus.
everyone. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.
Good night. Goodbye.